Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today on this crazy Monday? That's why I put the picture up like that, because people are losing their mind because the sky is falling. So, how's everyone today? Everybody survived the weekend? I know I did, although didn't sleep well. But it is crazy out there. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. And I just heard the news this morning. We're going from being sequestered 3 weeks now to 8 weeks. I don't know how true that is, but they did report that on the news, which seems a little crazy to me. Good morning, Adam. How are you this morning? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Yeah, it's a crazy time right now. It is really crazy time. But don't lose your cool. Keep it together. What other phrases are there? Mellow out. And I had to go to Walmart yesterday to buy some groceries, just, so I can cook lunch and dinner and stuff. And people are buying the craziest things. I mean, frozen pizza, all gone. And it's the frozen pizza, the frozen aisle, half the aisle is frozen pizza. Ice cream, all gone. It's just all the bread, every kind of bread, all gone. Cheese, totally wiped out. There were some eggs left. Fresh meat, fresh chicken and stuff, all gone. Even the frozen chicken, frozen meats and stuff, all gone. I don't know. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it's not like they're not going to restock and they're not going to have more stuff. I don't know why people are reacting like that. And Adam says, I'm looking at the positives, like looking forward to this chat and saying hi to everyone. Cool. I visited Wegmans. I guess Wegmans is your grocery store. Here, our super Walmarts are half grocery store, half Walmart. So I do food shopping there. I tend not to buy fresh meat, but I do like to go early when they're just stocking the case, because I'll buy like chicken. We've been going through a ton of chicken from being on a diet. I'll buy the chicken at Walmart when it's still slightly frozen. Then I know it's okay. Good morning, Justin. How are you this morning? So yeah, I mean, it was just nuts, the stuff that people are buying. I don't get it. I talked to my son who was doing the same thing up in New Hampshire. He says, yeah, I just, I got to buy some stuff so I can cook. And the same thing, he says, there's no cheese. There's no ice cream. He says, people are hoarding this stuff, or what, are they going to live on ice cream if the world ends? So it's weird. I did post something that Colleen, a mortgage representative that I deal with often, she, well, not as often because, as a listing agent, you don't have a chance to deal with the mortgage person. But she wrote the mortgage on my first house when we moved here to Florida, and I've known her ever since. But she wrote a post explaining about what the Fed did when they said they were going to cut the rate to 0. So I'm going to read that in a little bit. I know typically we don't get a lot of people in until the 9:30 hour. And hey, if I could, I would have slept myself. Steve, how are you? The Cape is the same way, but we have wild turkeys if we run out of chicken. For those on the Steve, come over to the YouTube channel if you could, because right now, unless I post it on the video like I just did, only I can see the posts. But if you come over to YouTube, which I put the link there, you can chat with everybody and everybody can see what you're posting. For those of you that don't know, Steve, I went to school with Steve many moons ago. But so, yeah, it's crazy times, but I don't, and we shouldn't look at this as being difficult or being, something out of our control. I mean, most of us we're entrepreneurs, we're self-employed. So this has to be an opportunity that we haven't conquered yet. That's the way I look at it. And when you're a self-employed person, you're your own boss. So it's up to you to adapt and change to the times. And that's one of the nice things about being an entrepreneur and being a business person, self-employed. You get to make those changes on the fly because they affect your business. So what do we have to do in these times that are so crazy? What do we have to do to adapt and change that we could do more business? And I can already tell you, most of us get what they call follow me ads. So if you're online and let's say you're looking for a house, when you go to Amazon, those ads that pop up on the right-hand side, you may get ads from housing companies or whatever, or you're looking for a car. Like lately, I've been looking for both. I've been looking for a new truck, not a new one, a truck and a house. So when I go to Amazon, even I'm checking my seller stuff, you get the ads that pop up from car dealers to housing companies or whatever, mortgage people. So I've seen these ads. I guess I looked for a laptop. I did for my wife there a while back. I did get her one. But these companies now, because students have to work, have to do schooling at home, they're cutting the price on Chromebooks. The lowest price I saw in a Chromebook, I think, was $70-something, $70, which is pretty cool. But from the Chromebook all the way up to regular laptops, they have been lowering prices on that stuff. Let me just say hello to a couple more people. Hello, Bargain Effect. How are you this morning? Jessica. What's happening, Jessica? I guess you're off today. You're not working. You work for the school department now, so I guess maybe there's no school, no work. But Jessica, come over to the the YouTube channel. The link is on the top. And you can chat with everybody, see everybody's chat, and network. So these companies now, Walmart, Best Buy, there's a couple others, they started lowering the prices on Chromebooks, like I said, down to $70, $72, something like that, all the way to regular laptops. Sorry, I just got a text that was kind of crazy. It just blew me out of the water. So what's going to happen is, I guess even high school students are out now. Like I had heard on the news, originally it was 3 weeks. Now they're talking about making it 8 weeks, which I don't know, because China is already starting to recover a bit from this, but better safe than sorry. If these laptops start to sell out, there's going to be a shortage of laptops pretty soon, because the majority of them are made in China. And China's production now, because of them January, they just got off or was it February? They just got off the Chinese New Year, so they were closed down completely. And then this happened. So there's some manufacturing places that are begging their workers that are well to come back to work to try to get some production going again. So we may see, in the summer, maybe even into the fall, we may see a shortage of computers pretty soon. Because if the laptops start selling out, then they go to desktops. There may be a shortage of computers pretty soon. So that's one of the, effects of what's happening now. But once again, we just have to adapt, make changes, adapt. Now, most of us in here are online sellers, so we know that people are going to be home and they're going to need stuff. So are we selling the right stuff that people may need? I mean, DVDs for a long time were, I don't know, they were looked over, I think, unless you had something rare. But now might be the chance to maybe lot up some DVDs and get them out, because people are going to want to watch stuff. Maybe you have some DVDs that are just not available. Movies are not being shown, so they may be interested. I told people when I was in a chat the other day, I said, now's a great time to, you get the kids home, you need that bedroom painted, put them to work, give them something to do, have a paint day, do something like that, play some board games, do family stuff. We haven't had family time in a long time. I remember when I was a kid, all the stores in Massachusetts were closed on Sunday, unless you sold milk and bread, which typically in my neighborhood was Cumberland Farms. We used to go to church, and when you went to church, you dressed up, in a suit and everything. And then we would go over my grandfather's house, my uncle's house, and we'd go visit the graves of our family that passed. And the family got together as a whole. I don't have that anymore, because what we had was the blue laws, and then they said, no, anybody now can open on Sunday. And people's reasoning to that was, well, we pay rent for 30 days. Why can't we open for 30 days? So they do that now. And I think we lost all that family time. I mean, I could remember when everybody was coming over our house, my mother would be cooking the sauce and all the stuff, and then we'd have a big table with everybody around it. And of course, there was a kids table, if anybody has kids and they don't know what that is. So I would sit with my cousins and stuff, but it was cool times because you got to see everybody. These days, I don't get to see my relatives unless there's a funeral or a wedding, which is awful. But anyway, how is everyone else doing? Please hit the thumbs up button if you could for me. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notified when I go on. And after this, I am going to be on EECOM and Beyond channel with Nate and Anthony at 10 on their channel. And I did put a link in the chat on Facebook. Yeah, and all the places I posted on Facebook, and I guess I posted one in the wrong place. So what is everybody else doing? Everybody's just kind of listening to me rant. How's everybody doing today? What are you looking forward to this week? Or are you looking forward to anything this week? Just surviving. I'm going to wait a little before I read that post from Colleen about the Fed dropping the rate to 0, what it means. Hello, Vintage. Treasured Vintage. Oh, Jessica, you go back to work on Wednesday. So, Jessica, they are keeping all the kids out for 3 weeks now, right? The schools are closed for 3 weeks. And then I heard it might be 8 weeks. I'm not off the 2 weeks since I don't work in the schools. Okay. Treasured Vintage, thanks for coming in. Thank you very much. See what you're doing this morning. New here. Oh, welcome. The bargain effect. I'm looking forward to my sales to start picking up. I think we all are. Jessica said she's heard only 2 weeks so far. Yeah, I listen to the news every morning and they're talking about everything. Wow, Treasured Vintage had sales from Italy and the state of Washington. Where are you? What state are you in? People bored in the quarantines. Yep, they are bored. People don't even want to go to the theater because being in a, confined place with other people. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania, Lisa's friend. Okay, yes. Well, welcome in. Thank you. I try to come on. I've been successful so far, unless I have a doctor's appointment early. 9 o'clock every morning. And then today at 10, I will be on EECOM and Beyond with Nate and Anthony, talking to them. And I don't know what the topic is going to be with them today. We'll see soon. But no, thank you very much for coming in. We just talk about everything. The topic goes from reselling, selling online, eBay, Mercari, Etsy, Amazon selling, to we've talked about food, travel, cars. Cars happened to become a topic the other morning. So nothing's off the table. We'll talk about anything. Hi, Deb. Good morning, Deb. How are you this morning? I'm only here for a second, have not been in the Word yet. Okay. Tough question, Paul. Record crate. This is Adam, everybody. I'm not bringing in employees this week. Sales were down 80% last week. Wow. I'm opening less hours and covering both my Raleigh and Wake Forest stores myself. Wow. Sorry to hear, Adam. Yeah, I don't blame you. I did see one post today, since I'm a comic collector and, I'm in a lot of boards. Most of the comic collectible shows that I've seen in this area have been canceled. And they're even talking about canceling San Diego Comic-Con, and that's in July. I guess they said because everything is going to be postponed, so they're trying their best. But the company that puts on Comic-Con has another show, WonderCon, and they've already postponed that one. But I think the facility is looking to cancel it. But and Adrian, a friend of mine back home in Massachusetts, came on the other day, and he said, yeah, there's a lot of shows up there that have been canceled. It's the same thing here. But I think this is a self-employed person. The counties down here are trying to limit gatherings it used to be of 200 people. Now it's 20 people. And so good morning, Chris. How are you, Chris? Whole thing is blown so right. Yeah, it is. It is. But this gentleman, like I said, this is an opportunity for us self-employed people, entrepreneurs. This is an opportunity that we haven't conquered yet. So what this gentleman did, he owns a comic book shop. And obviously he was going to be one of the people set up at a comic book show, a comic convention, as we call them. So he posted on his Facebook page that he's putting on his own show. And he's doing it. Good morning, Gate City. How are you this morning? So what he's doing is he's going to have his own comic book show. He's going to set it up in front of his store in his parking lot. And he invited other people, other collectors to come down and have a table in the parking lot. So almost like a collectible flea market. And I thought that was a great idea. You're not in, excuse me, a ballroom. You know, you're outside. And there are people that, you know, this is the best way they get their collectibles and stuff other than online, because a lot of people, they want to touch it. You know, they want to feel it. They want, if they can open it, they want to open it and stuff. And that's the way collectors are. And then you get them that you can't have any dents or dings, and the packaging has to be perfect. Because all they're going to do is they're going to put it on the shelf, you know, similar to what I have here. Now, granted, most of mine are open because I wanted to. But a lot of them will just take the package and put it on the shelf, and that's their collection. So they miss not having a show, not being able to go to the show. Some of them have saved up their money for months to go to the show just to get that one piece, you know. So I thought this was a great idea that he did. He said, you know, anybody's welcome to come. If you don't have a table, we have tables set up in the parking lot. We'll have an area for it. And I thought that was a great idea. I really did. I thought that was a great idea. That's one way that he is conquering the opportunity, or, you know, taking on the challenge face first, you know, right full speed ahead. But yeah, this is what we have to do. We have to look at what we're doing. We're in charge of our own business, so we have to do whatever we have to do. And if it means going on Facebook and posting more stuff, that I just listed this on, because, you know, when you list something on eBay or whatever, you can share it, unless you can only do that on the phone, on the app. But you could share it to Facebook and stuff. Hey, just listed this, and then all your friends see it. Or you can make a little ad and do a Facebook ad and get it out to people that you think might be interested. And, you know, put $5 in it, in the ad, and get it out there that way. Who knows, you might get more followers. You might get more people that are interested. You never know. But I thought, you know, that was a good idea. Like, now, Adam, you should be on like Craigslist and stuff saying, hey, we're still open, you know, minimum hours a day. We're going to be open, and this store is going to be open from this to this. This store is going to be open from this time to this time. And maybe make yourself maybe a little, I don't know if you can afford this, 5 or 10% off coupon. Take this in, you know, during the sequestering period this week, and we'll save you 5% off your purchase, or 10% off your purchase. Thank you for supporting our store. It could take just a little thing like that to get people to say, wow, this guy's open, and, you know, support the small business, basically. But yeah, it's all about, you know, technically, it's all about marketing. All about marketing. Whatever you got to do to get the sale, whatever you got to do to get out there. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, typically I do have a lot. I mean, I've been doing this. I opened my first store in 1979, so I've gone through a lot of different things. A lot of different things. Had many stores, done many promotions, big, little, done many promotions. And it's just about thinking outside the box. Sometimes with me, there is no box. I just, it's being creative. I mean, when I had my video stores, I would bring in, because wrestling was real big back in the early 90s, I would bring in wrestling. Got the wrestlers. I had Freddie Blassie, Killer Kowalski, Paul Orndorff, a lot of different guys. Sergeant Slaughter was one of the biggest ones. So yeah, it's you just got to do what you got to do. Some are implemented, working on others, and I'll add from you. Cool. Listing more on eBay. Doc Flair. I think you meant Ric Flair. No, because I was in Massachusetts at the time. So WWE. That's still when it was WWF. WWWF. And Ric Flair was down here or in Midwest because he was NWA. And we really didn't get that on TV up there. So, and then because I had the video stores, the old AWA tapes were coming out from, I forget the name of the company that was doing the videos. And then they went into the local WWF stuff. But Sergeant Slaughter, they came out with a big one for Sergeant Slaughter series. And that's when I had him to the store. And he was great. I posted pictures of, at various times on my Facebook page, like he put me in the Cobra Clutch and different things like that. And I got a cool picture with Fred Blassie and Killer Kowalski, like doing a number on me. Had the Honky Tonk Man. I mean, it's just so many. And promoted it with a local radio station because I knew the disc jockey there. But I had lines around the block with some of that stuff. And it's fun. I love doing that. That's probably one of the things I missed about having a brick and mortar is the interaction. Always miss that. The interaction with the people and stuff. But so thank you everybody for coming. Please hit the thumbs up, like and share and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you know when I go on again. And like I said, right now it's 9 o'clock every morning. At 10, I will be on EECOM and beyond. I have the link further up on the post. But let me read. It's almost 9:30. We do have some more people that come in. I see there's just as many people watching on Facebook as there is on YouTube. And anybody, if you want to mingle with people, network and stuff, come over to the YouTube page. The link is in the chat. And just in case it's not, I'm going to post it right now. Yeah, come over and everybody can see your post other than me. Good morning, Christine. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. So let me read, because yesterday I did a post and let me grab it here. Because the Fed said that they were dropping the rate to zero, and what does it mean? And people right away assume that it means the mortgage rate, but no, mortgage rate won't. It'll be affected. Just hopefully, what we're hoping is it'll stay in the threes, which would be great. But this is from Colleen, and let me you can look her up. She's a mortgage representative at Homebridge Mortgage. She's fantastic. She knows her stuff. She's been a mortgage rep forever. When we bought our first house in Florida in 2002, got it through her, and I've known her ever since. Then I, became a realtor, and she's helped hundreds of my clients. So she just posted, because all realtors were posting, hey, the Fed dropped, and then some agents, crazy agents, call me now if you want to buy a house for 0%. And it's not going to happen. Those are the agents that are going to get themselves in trouble. So mortgage rates are not going to 0%. Major financial news: Fed has announced that it is cutting the federal rate to 0% and planning to bail out the bond market by $700 billion in a bailout plan to buy bonds. Here are the facts. This has absolutely nothing to do with the mortgage interest rates. There very well could be a residual effect to mortgage interest rates. The Fed rate has to do with the rate at which banks exchange money. But here is what you need to understand about what has happened over the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, interest rates dipped into the low threes, high twos, lowest in almost 30 years, on traditional 30-year mortgage terms. This week, we lost all that gain because the bond market literally stopped trading, which is why the Fed has to come in and bail out this market. Hope I'm not boring anybody. But this is life. The coronavirus and major oil crisis, which by the way is getting no press at all, are the major factors in these financial debacles. I believe that's what it said there. We are literally in uncharted waters right now. Normally, a Fed rate cut has a residual effect on mortgage interest rates because it correlates that the economy is not strong, and a weak economy is when traders park their money into safer trading platforms such as our mortgage-backed securities market. Last week was the first time we saw both stocks and bonds declining at the same time. This is very rare because when one is declining, the other market is thriving because of it. Last week, traders were just not trading due to the uncertainty of the global economy. The issue that has me most concerned, and you should be looking at it as well, is the oil crisis between Russia and Saudi Arabia. If this does not get resolved, we are going to be in major trouble. Now, I do know that when President Trump was on, Friday, that he said he instructed his people to buy, to stockpile oil. I don't know, but it's true. We're gonna, and I hope that doesn't happen. She goes on to say, that being said, interest rates are not going to 0%, and how rates will be affected by this will depend on how traders respond to the bailout. Between the virus and oil crisis, we are in for a wild ride with all our financial markets. More than likely, rates will stay low and get lower because, as 2008 showed us, we all remember that, the backbone of our economy is the housing market. So we have to keep rates low enough to help people to continue to purchase homes. Right now, it is still the best time to purchase a home, and I stand by that statement no matter what happens tomorrow or the next day. There is always a way to take advantage of a bad economy. That is where most millionaires are made in times of economic despair. Make sure you get your facts and economic data from a trusted financial professional and not anyone else. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. You wouldn't get medical advice from your neighbor, and same goes for your financial advice. You would ask a doctor. You should ask a financial professional for financial advice. She is very, very true with this, with everything like that. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and that's it. I did post her name in. I wanted to go to her page, but the page link is extremely long, and it won't take the whole thing. So I asked her to come on, but she just got back from a trip, a meeting with her company, and she's under the weather. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to go to 0, but it's going to stay, hopefully it'll stay low, because that's what we need. And like she says, it's all goes by the housing market, because when people buy houses, what do? They go to Home Depot, they go to Lowe's, they go to Walmart, they go to Target, because now they need stuff for the new house. So then those places get busy, they keep people employed, and the wheel keeps turning. And that's the way that the housing market's involved with everything. If they didn't sell houses, if everybody even if people just refied, they're still painting, putting up walls, taking down walls. So they're still going to Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff. But when you buy a house, you're doing a lot of work. You're making it yours, because there is no perfect house. The house is perfect when you make it perfect, and it's only perfect for you. You want blue walls, you get blue walls. That's not what everybody likes, but it's good for you. You want carpet. A lot of people don't like carpet. They like hardwood. So it's perfect for you. So I used to tell my buyers all the time, there is no such thing as a perfect house. The house is what you make it. And they understand. I mean, but that's what it is. You go to Lowe's, you buy the stuff, you go to Walmart, you buy appliances or whatever, and it's just a never-ending circle. But if the rates stay low, great, because more people will buy, they'll get off the fence. And uncertainty has a lot to do with people's undecided factor. And like she says, when the market crashed in 2008, I mean, I'm sure every agent out there still gets people, especially in Florida, looking for those $30,000 and $40,000 condos. It's like, you got to tell people, say, hey, it's not 2008 anymore. You didn't buy it back then. You're not going to get it now, because now those are 100, 150,000. And that's what happens. But I've already seen, I'm sure everybody's already seen, because I did watch some TV yesterday, try to get off the computer. The car loans, a lot more dealerships are offering 0% financing on new stuff. Now they still get kickbacks and everything from the factories. So it's really not hurting them. But I think we're going to see some deals to be had here coming up. On the other hand, are they going to give relief? Like, are they going to be able to do a forbearance on your mortgage if you're not working? So, I mean, some people, they're not going to be able to work for 2 weeks. They won't be able to pay all their bills. Some people, all it takes is one paycheck to throw them off. One paycheck to throw them off. So if you're not able to pay your bills, and is your landlord going to understand? Because now he can't pay his mortgage because you didn't pay your rent. It's a trickle down, you know. Is there going to be bailouts for that? Are you going to be able to, find relief with that? I can say one thing. If you're out of work or you can't work for a week, 2 weeks, and you can foresee that you're going to have trouble paying your bills, what you should do right away is get your bill out and call the number on that bill and call the company, credit card company, mortgage company, whoever it is, and say, listen, because of what's happening, my job I can't go into work, but they're not paying me. So I'm not going to be able, I can already tell you I'm not going to be able to pay the bill on time. Put them on notice. Don't do anything. Be proactive about it, and, face it full on and call these people. Say, listen, I am very sorry, but we all know what's going on in the country right now, in the world. And my job has told me to sit out for a week, 2 weeks without pay, because I work at a small business and they can't afford to pay everybody when they're closed. What can I do? Who can I talk to? And I'm sure by now they'll have people ready to take those phone calls, because that's what you have to do. You have to call and you have to make people aware of what your situation is. So don't wait. Definitely don't get it past, you're late a month, because it's not going to solve anything. Ask them if you can do a forbearance. And if they agree on the phone, tell them you need it in writing. Don't accept anything on the phone verbally. If they can't give you anything in writing, you get the full name of the person you talk to on the phone. Full name. If they have an agent number or whatever, you get the number, the date you called, the time you called, and a brief rundown of everything you spoke about. Yes, they agreed to give me a forbearance on my next mortgage payment. They agreed to take April's payment and put it on the back of the loan and not charge me extra for that. So now my next payment is May 1st. And, Joe Smith agreed to this on this day at this time, so on and so forth down the line. Do not just log it, have proof, because if all of a sudden April 15th, you get a notice saying, well, we didn't get your mortgage payment, you're late, and we're going to report it to the credit. Say, no, I have proof that I spoke to this person and they said that I could do a forbearance with no extra interest charges or anything. They're going to take this loan, this April payment, and they're going to put it at the back end of my loan. Because if they don't do that, what's going to happen is in May 1st, you're going to have to pay 2 payments. And you don't want that either. So if you call the bank, say, listen, I can't pay my mortgage because I work at a small business and they told me to stay out for 2 weeks and without pay. What can we do? Can we do a forbearance? Can you put April's payment on the back end of the loan without a charge, without charging me more interest? And if you get that in agreement, ask him, say, I need it in writing. If they won't give it to you in writing, you take the first, last name of the person, the date, the time, everything, and you keep that somewhere. If you have to, scan it in, put it on your desktop somewhere So if they call you, say, hey, you're late, you're late, you're late, you have proof. Good morning, Adam. How are you this morning? So that's, and that goes for anything. You can't pay your credit card. You can't pay your car payment. Whatever you have, maybe you have a card for a store or something. A lot of people work for a small business, and some of these small businesses are closed. And look at these restaurants, waiters and waitresses, they work on tips and they can't make any money if they're not working. I've heard some restaurants in Massachusetts now are had to go to takeout only. So they had to lay off all their wait staff because they can only do takeout. You can't sit down. And I think the same thing is going to happen here in Florida now too. So yeah, it's crazy times, crazy time. We just have to adapt, roll with it, and just look at this as an opportunity that we haven't taken on yet, but one we have to control ourselves. Good morning, Arthur. How are you this morning? So I'm sorry for rattling on and on about that stuff. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? I look at things, business, I've been in business for a long, long time. And a lot of people, like the picture at the beginning there, they'll bury their head in the sand and hopefully it goes away. When you're an entrepreneur, when you're at your own business, you can't do that because it never goes away. A lot of times it just gets worse and gets bigger. You're the boss. That's what another thing, even when you're a real estate agent or a realtor, either one, a lot of those people don't understand that they're a business now. That you're a realtor, you're a real estate agent, that's your business. Sure, you have to hang your license with a broker, but that's your business. And you have to follow what the broker says. And because when you hang your license with them, their license is in jeopardy if you screw up. But when you're, excuse me, when you're an online seller, like I think 90% of the people in the chat here, and I, once again, thank you everybody for coming. Don't forget at 10, I'll be on with Arthur. Sorry, looking at the chat. I'll be on with Anthony and Nate on EECOM and beyond with them. But when you're your own business, you're your own boss, you have to take on the challenges. You have to adapt and change. This is not working, change it, try something else. That's not working, change it, because you're the boss, you can make those decisions. And Adam says, Adam's exploits. Adam has a show too. Adam, feel free to put the link in the chat. Anybody, actually, Adam Record Crate has an online auction. He does a lot of vinyl records. Record Crate is a store. Actually 3 stores. Adam, feel free to put the link into your stores. Anybody else, if you want to promote your own business or your own eBay store or something, just put it in the chat. These are great people. It's a small resellers community that we have. So we got to promote each other. Adam says it's crazy around here with the restaurants, including fast food. Some politicians are saying go eat at the restaurants and tip your servers. Those are the ones that have servers. There's some that don't have, they laid off their servers and they're just doing takeout. Arthur Leslie says our governor put a no disconnect in place for utilities. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that stuff going on. A lot of different stuff going on. It's weird. It's changing. Now, for those of you that you buy storage lockers like Adam is going to have Wade's Ventures on, I get emails from probably 15 different companies now because I put it in there to buy storage lockers at storage locker auctions. There was one that was supposed to happen Friday, and there was one that was supposed to happen Saturday. They were canceled because of this. One had 9 units, the other one had 3 units. And now why they were canceled, I don't know, unless they don't have employees to suffice. Maybe they're running on a skeleton crew. I don't know. And record, Adam, I'll be doing several auctions this week, both from Raleigh and Wake Forest locations. Yeah, so anybody in the chat, anybody on the Facebook page, once again, thank you for coming in. Hit the thumbs up button for me. If you're into collecting vinyl, or Adam has some, if you check back at one of my old shows last week, we did a walkthrough of Adam's store, the Record Crate, I think his Raleigh store. He's got some cool vintage vinyl records. He has some classic T-shirts. It's got a lot of different stuff. So if you're into that, definitely go to see Adam's auctions. Deb said that should be helpful for your Record Crate. Yep. Yeah, if you're now, Adam's probably the only one in the chat here that has brick and mortar. Not one, but 3 brick and mortars. So yeah, if it's going to take getting more online to get numbers in, absolutely. When I first started eBay, man, and that was before it was eBay, it was Auction Watch. We had a magazine called Toy Shop. And it was a newspaper format. It was almost on the idea of Life magazine, but it was white paper throughout the whole thing. And that went worldwide. So after a little while, I started advertising in my store. And, just I did a half-page ad. Sometimes I did a full-page ad. It depends on what I had to sell. I used to do model kits, comics, toys, all that stuff. And all of a sudden, within a few months, I had a booming mail order business. And then eBay came along. And now I'm selling more online than I am at the store. So it came to be, well, what do I need the store for? So on that store, I think I closed. The comic book store, I sold, and I sold it with my original eBay account. So the account I use now on eBay is my wife since I think it was 3 years later. But yeah, you start doing more online than you're doing in the brick and mortar, and that's what, then I never went back to brick and mortar. But yeah, it's whatever you got to do. A lot of people are doing Facebook Marketplace. I know Dolly, she's not in here right now. She scours Facebook Marketplace every morning for the new stuff, and then she calls those people. And she's been she's made some good contacts, been picking up a lot of cool stuff just from Facebook Marketplace. And then there's, what's the other one? Let It Go. There's a lot. There's a lot of different ones. Some are just made for areas too. Hang in there. Music soothes the soul. Yes, it does. I was actually listing a CD that I picked up a couple of weeks ago, the Rat Pack story, and I'm a fan. So they had a DVD in there on the original Ocean's 11 with the Rat Pack, and then the music CD. So I was listening to that while I was listing the other stuff, and then I got off early and watched that DVD. It was very cool, about making of Ocean's 11 in 1962 and how they helped Kennedy get elected, and being the mob and that type of stuff. It was cool. It was very cool. But we're running into now almost 5 minutes before I have to go on with Anthony and Nate. So I am going to cut it off here because I have to go make myself another cup of tea and get ready for them. Once again, everybody, thank you for coming in. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I am trying to grow my YouTube channel. And if you're wondering about the post I put on Facebook and you're just watching this now about the mortgage interest rates going to zero, Colleen, our mortgage rep, and I read her letter. That'll explain a lot. So once again, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thank you. Or come over to EECOM and Beyond. The link is up ahead in the chat.